So I don't think we can ever stop. Like, if what do you think? I mean, because that was the action back there. I'm wondering.
I mean, there's more stuff there.
We're live. All right. Okay. Hello, everyone. All right. Hello, everyone. This is 12 News reporter Jordan James and Ashly Elam. We're taking a trip to the Fannett area where there's been a lot of reports of flooding. Right now, we're on Highway 124, and we've seen a bunch of flooding in the grass area, and some parking lots are flooding. We're getting ready to turn around where we see what appears to be a rescue that is underway. I'm going to give you guys a look at what we're seeing out here. Give us a second. And like I said, coming here, you know, it's been raining on and off, but, you know, as the rain continues to fall, you know, it's a flood out here. And as you can see, you know, this parking lot right here at this gas station right off 124, the corner is completely flooded. So we see someone out on a boat further off in the distance.
Try to get a better angle of it here.
Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, they're out here as well. And like, as you can see, you know, this business right here is closed as a result of the flooding that's happening in front of it. We see what appears to be a crew loading up a boat on the back of a truck.
Yeah, we're out here. We're at the Green Acres Grocery and Meat Market here, right off 124. We were headed towards Fannett. We're leaving Beaumont. We're on 124. Obviously, we've turned around the opposite direction now to see what's going on. Now it looks like a rescue boat now getting brought back on the trailer. This is really the worst that we've seen it on the side of the highway so far, but we're about to turn around and go to where we're hearing near the elementary school and even possibly the middle school that they're also having flooding over there as well.
Yeah. And like TxDOT has several signs on the road warning people that, you know, there is water on the roads, and like, if you don't have to be out in these conditions, it's advised that you're not, because there are similar scenes like this all across Southeast Texas as a result of this weather. So now we're getting ready to continue to work our way down 124. Again, we pulled over here right in front of the Green Acres Grocery and Meat Market where a rescue boat was out in the water. We see the sheriff's office out here as well.
I get a closer look here before we turn around. You see right here.
So yeah, as you can see, they're loading the boat up. We see someone in a life jacket. And as Ashly was saying earlier, you know, we've mainly seen this on the side of the road.
Yeah. I'm a little turned around in my directions right here, but if you're going towards Fannett, this would be on the left side of the highway where you see more businesses and things like that. But it looks like they're pulling one of the rescue boats out of the water as we speak here. But we also, you know, as you can see, there is someone in a life preserver in the boat, and you know, you don't want to speculate, but these guys are about to have their hands full here for the next few hours, and it looks like all week long, to be honest.
Yeah.
So we're gonna turn back around here. Traffic's starting to pick up, and we'll head towards the school areas. If you're familiar with the Hampshire Fannett schools, they're all mainly along 124. We can bring it back towards the high school if we can get that far. Earlier, we went across the highway where water was starting to cross the highway.
And you know, right now it's not raining really hard, but you know, it's been raining for several hours, and you know, that's the result of this flooding that we're starting to see off of 124 right now.
Now we're heading back towards Fannett, 124. That's where we're told most of the flooding, at least down here in the south portion of our viewing area, is going on. I live in mid-county in Port Neches, and we've had some localized street flooding. Nothing awful that I was able to see, except my neighborhood has been without power for a few hours. So you're starting to, like, you don't think of this as severe weather. What you got to realize is that, you know, all it takes is a transformer to blow, and in poor conditions, it's hard for our linemen to get out there and correct those issues. So try to be patient with everyone right now. If you don't need to be on the roads, obviously try not to. We've seen some schools release early today.
Yeah, Hampshire, Jeanette, Fannett, Holdesetta, Lumberton, several school districts across southeast Texas have let out early as a result of the flooding in which we're seeing. And today we have crews all over southeast Texas covering this weather in which we're experiencing.
I believe I'm getting a call.
You have an incoming
I'm going to
call.
hang up. Sorry.
So yeah, if you are going to be out on the roads, be sure to take it easy and leave some distance between you and the other car. As we've been saying, we're traveling to the Fannett area. We're on 124 right now.
We're about to cross 365 here. If you're familiar with that intersection, there's been a bank that's been on the corner here of 365 and 124 from the beginning of time. It seems like Texas First Bank, and it looks like 365 is flooded. At least partially. I just saw a car go through high water area, and it gets scary. I mean, you're thinking that most of this flooding's on the side of the road, but you lose track, especially once the sun goes down, and you can easily end up in a ditch.
Yeah.
And that's when you're in trouble. So, like we said, we encourage people not to be out here. We're taking our time, taking all the cautions, trying not to drive through. We're just trying to give you a heads up of what's going on from what we see through our camera out here that's hooked up in front of us.
Yeah. Again, just to reset the scene, I'm here with Ashly Elam, Jordan James. We're traveling to the Fannett area where there's a bunch of reports of flooding, and as you're seeing right now in this video, that we're seeing a bunch of flooding along the side of the road, especially near the Fannett Elementary area. Moments ago, we saw what appeared to be some sort of rescue happening at a meat market here off of 124. And the water is starting to spill onto the road at this point in time. This is why they're advising you guys not to be out in these type of conditions.
Yeah, definitely taking our time, and for us, we're just kind of gauging how deep this water is by the vehicles in front of us, and if we feel uncomfortable, we'll be turning around ourselves because it can get real bad real quick out here.
And we've been hearing about most of the flooding happening in South Jefferson County area.
Near Chambers County, out there in Chambers County, I've also heard of. And it started this morning. I was getting alerts for Jasper up north, and then here we are. This is the middle school area. And I'm going to turn into it, not completely in there because it's.
So this is a look right now at Hampshire Fannett
Yes.
Middle School, and as you can see, this area is completely flooded. This is why they let school out early as a result of this flooding that's happening. We're getting ready to turn to give you guys a better vantage point of what we're seeing, but in front of Hampshire Fannett Middle School, it's completely flooded. The road is impassable.
And this school obviously was damaged during previous storms that we have seen out here. The pods are actually still in place, being followed by a bus right now, so we're going to try to get out of their way.
So yeah, this is the area right in front of the middle school, and scenes like this are happening, all across the Fannett area as a result of this rain that we've experienced over the last couple of hours.
Buses are starting to roll in, so I'm just trying not to get in their way.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so heartbreaking because this school district and this whole community has struggled so much with these floods over the last 5 years, between Harvey and then Imelda, and this is day one of which we hope this week's not going to be as bad as it could possibly be, but this is already an extremely rough start for this area.
Mm-hmm. Again, this district let out early as a result of the weather in which you're seeing right now. Right in front of the middle school, it's completely flooded. We do see a few buses here on campuses as well.
Heading back here to their bus barn, and
yeah,
a few vehicles leaving campus. And the school's already portable buildings from Imelda still from recovering through that, and to see the water rising again, it's really awful. And you hope that it doesn't get into the building again. But right now, right next to the main building here, it doesn't look as bad. It doesn't look great, but
Yeah.
it doesn't look as bad.
And we've also heard about some reports of water getting into homes here in the Fannett area as a result of this rain.
Hampshire Fannett Intermediate is to our left right here. Mainly here in the parking lot, it's not bad, but you see a Jeep, and that's a raised Jeep coming into your picture that is going through quite a bit of water.
Yeah. And that's why several roads across, this area are closed as a result.
Correct.
Again, for those of you just know, James and Ashly Elam, we're here in the Fannett area where there's extensive flooding as a result of this rain that we've had all day. Again, right now we're traveling through the intermediate parking lot, and as you can see, for the most part, it's completely underwater. The road in front of the schools is shut down as a result of this weather.
We're going to take things extremely slow because, these large vehicles that go through flooded areas, you can end up pushing water into cars or into the houses and, create more damage than there needs to be. So definitely taking our way slow through here. I can tell this is a parking lot. So in any, you hope that this rain slacking up right now will get the drainage to try to catch up with it in time so it doesn't get any worse.
Absolutely. And we've seen a number of counties across our area offering sandbags as a result of this weather. You can find that information on our website for those of you who are in need of sandbags.
12newsnow.com. So you'll get all kind of information to keep you updated, and also school closures and late to receive. They're starting to build a list of those as well.
Yeah. And here in the last minute, the rain is starting to pick up again.
Yeah, just as I said, the break might help, and it's just picking up again. And for many people, this, you don't want to compare storms, but when you live in this area, and if you've had your house flooded as many times as you can, you start having those natural flashbacks where you're wondering, oh man, is this another Imelda? Is this going to be the start of a Harvey? And Harvey's that's a tropical system, and both those were tropical systems, and it's not quite the same situation, but heavy rain is heavy rain, and if it goes over a long period of time, you're going to have issues.
Yeah.
I will say traffic is much heavier than I thought that it would be at this time.
Yeah.
I'm about to head back on 124. Get this light to turn. Yeah, it's really picked up.
It has.
The rain has certainly started picking up.
Yeah. And like I said, a few minutes ago, we did see what appeared to be a rescue taking place at a meat market a couple of minutes down the road from the school.
Yeah, Green Acres Meat Market down there. We saw the emergency response boats out there that, unfortunately, this area has become way too familiar with here in the last 5 years. And seeing people having to get pulled out of their homes, and see some cars that are definitely going to be receiving some damage here on the side of the highway.
Yeah. So as you guys can see, the water is starting to rush up to the front door of many homes in this area just off of 124. The rain has picked up here in the last couple of minutes. conditions like this is why they're advising, you know, if you don't have to be out, don't be out in these elements.
So we've already been to the intermediate school and the middle school. Now we're headed back. We're going to try to see if we can get to the high school. But we are definitely starting to see a lot more water on the side of the roads. And, you know, there's only so much room before that starts passing over the highway.
Yeah.
We're 5 miles out of Hampshire right now. From Winnie, we've heard the issues going on over in Winnie as well.
And for the most part, I mean, you can expect those usual places that you live that flood will likely flood.
Moved around, but
oh, yeah.
That's not even our concern at this point. But
Yeah.
You're seeing for us too. I'm telling you, we're if you get to the areas where you can't see the side of the roads, it's not worth it, because you can end up in Southeast Texas. I don't know if you've ever flown above it before. There's a lot of water everywhere, and there's bodies of water that you don't even realize, little ponds and canals, that all of a sudden you're submerged. So,
and you know, Elam, just like speaking from personal experience, I pulled over to what I thought was the side of the road, and it turned out to be a ditch.
That's right.
So
that was during Delta.
Yeah, it was during Delta. So you never truly know when you pull off to the side of the road. You know, make sure that it is the road.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, with this rain too, it's going to get dark quick. You know, if that sun starts going down, and we're supposed to be getting some relief. I haven't been able to look at the radar recently, but we're supposed to be getting some relief tonight. Will help, but you're going to have to be home. I would say at least, if you absolutely have to, stick to areas you're familiar with. You know, if you know the area floods, don't risk it. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
So we're getting closer to the high school area now. They've had their floods as well. They just got the brand new locker rooms. If you remember, they won a contest after the damage between Harvey and Imelda. Their field house was completely just ripped apart.
And you know, as you mentioned, you know, this area has been through a lot. Like,
it really has.
Yeah, many people are still trying to recover.
And it's all about, you know, I'm not a meteorologist, but I listen to one, you know, Patrick's on. And, you know, it's all about the training effect. We just see, you know, that area where the rains never stop. You know, I see people complain about the drainage in our area plenty, but you don't really realize how much water's coming down. I mean, you're getting 6 to 12 inches within, you know, 12 hours.
Yeah,
that's going to be tough for any system to keep up with. But the guys out here, I can tell you, knowing people that work with the drainage departments, I mean, they're doing the absolute best they can to try to keep on top of things.
Again, we're still heading down 124, going toward the high school at this time.
And that's where you'll also see, if you're not familiar with the area, near the high school, you've got more residential areas. I know at my house in Port Neches, I mean, it feels like it hasn't stopped raining since midnight. I mean, it's been non-stop. I was in Houston last night coming in from an Astros game, and started raining probably around Baytown, and it's been non-stop.
Yeah. And we also hear, like, you know, one of the biggest concerns with this weather is power outages. You said out there in Port Neches, in your neighborhood, you don't have power.
That's right. We lost power 11, I can tell you exactly, 11:22 this morning. And you could tell it was a transformer exploded. You could hear it when it went. And then power literally came on for about 3 seconds, and you heard another pop, and you're like, oh, that's probably another one that just blew. And you know, you got to think of how much our electrical grid has gone through the last hurricanes, like the last years. I mean, you had guys from all over the country repairing them, just trying to get them operational again. But you know, those systems are going to be tested again. Plenty of water here on the left side of the highway. So I'm slowing down. That's another thing. Out here, there's plenty of cattle.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, if you're not into ranching or farming or anything like that, you might not really think a lot about that, but you see a lot of issues when it comes to cattle during flooding.
And now, you know, both sides of 124, we're seeing flooding in front of the businesses, the homes.
Yep, we're about to turn in right off 124. This will bring us to the high school. I was actually here for a playoff game a couple of weeks ago. And it's just unfortunate. You just hope it stops raining for these people. You really do. And you can already tell that there's going to be problems.
Yeah. Right now we're working our way down Hampshire Road. Just got off of 124, you know, taking a look at some of the residential areas. You know, as you can see, there's water in front of a lot of these homes out here.
Luckily, at least on this road, we haven't seen the water up to the doors. You know, it's in the ditch area, but I mean, it's getting close to a few of these houses. Commitment to walk your dog right now. I mean, that's.
Oh yeah.
We're right by the high school now, and we just passed the road back there. It was completely covered in water. Looks like these side roads here, at least the one previously, is a little worse condition. We'll make our turn back through here and check out some of this area.
Again, right now we're approaching the high school. Jordan James here with Ashly Elam. We're checking out the flooding here in Hampshire in the Fannett area.
So far, the high school's looking pretty good, not gonna lie. So that's good. Not seeing any water backing up into it. At the same time, you can tell these ditches are being pushed to the limit.
Yes.
Like they are to that point where they need a break, catch up.
Yeah. And it's only gonna get worse if this continues.
Right. You know, and at this point, the ground's saturated. So. Hampshire Road out here, it'll bring you all the way back to I-10. We're going to turn back around before we get to the interstate. For the most part, because we haven't heard of any issues on the main highways so far. It's these side roads and neighborhoods that you got to watch out. you an idea of how some of these yards are looking. I mean, look at this one right here.
Mm. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Mm. I feel like it was kind of worse off of the highway.
Yeah, it's just weird how you got some pockets, but like I said, this area, you have canals that run through there and all that are going to start backing up as well. But here you're seeing more of the flat land
Yeah.
where it's starting to fill up.
Again, just to reset the scene, Jordan James here at Ashly Elam. We're traveling, across the Fannett and Hampshire area where there's a bunch of flooding. As you're seeing, as we were talking about earlier, the water appears to be more flooded in different pockets of the city.
It's definitely not widespread, and we've luckily, so far, we haven't seen it going into the houses, at least the neighborhoods we've gone through so far.
Yeah.
That's what we want to emphasize as well. If you see the water across the road, or you're in a neighborhood, take it slow, because you might think you're just pushing your way through it, and you're in your big truck. Maybe you think you're just having a good time, but you're destroying these people's cars and homes when that water gets pushed back up in there.
Mm-hmm.
So be considerate of each other right now. Now we're on Marsh Road. If you're familiar with the Fannett area.
Yeah. And we're seeing a lot of, standing water in front of these homes.
Starting to cross over the street in front of us. There's no more room for this water to go. This is our first house that we're just passing now. That it's getting close. I mean, it's up there to the doorstep now. Located right next to the high school area, and this is really what we've seen everywhere. I mean, it's all the ditches are completely full.
Yeah.
Yards are inundated, but fortunately so far we've only seen, looks like one house where it's getting close to getting in. could take an inch of water, and I can tell you just from friends that have been flooded, it takes everything. Ripping carpet, ripping out floors, cutting walls. And unfortunately, we're all high school looks in much better shape than the intermediate and middle school, where the parking lots there were flooded.
1, 2, 3. We're out here, outside of the. All right.
Little mic test for you.
Yeah.
Main Street.
Rain's starting to let up a little bit, so like this is kind of what it's been like for the most part all day, raining on and off, and you have where it comes down really fast and just makes the flooding worse.
Yeah, it's you can definitely tell it's coming down a lot harder. I mean, there's a lot of yards we're seeing now that have had about all they could handle.
This is a high school. Okay. Parking lot's flooded.
Yeah.
So right now we're in front of the high school where the parking lot is flooded. You know, sites like these are why they let school out early, you know, all across Southeast Texas. As we talked about earlier, you know, many people in this area are still recovering from the previous storms.
Yeah, I mean, Imelda, it seemed like that was yesterday when we were evacuating our own station.
Yeah.
And, of course, Harvey. But so far, I'm not seeing it push into the building. You know, so, and now with the rain lightening up, you're hoping that the systems can now catch up.
About 40 seconds out. Okay. All right. First one looping this. Is that would you say the water's high right there?
Oh, yeah. It's a deep ditch right there.
Yeah. StormTracker said the heaviest rain Indian today. Indian. You want to park right here and I'll flip?
Sure.
Okay. I got it facing us. So right now we're getting ready to do something for our 4 o'clock newscast, so stand by. Yeah, hey, Days Unique. We're right now outside of Hampshire Fannett High School, and we traveled down 124. On the way here, we saw a lot of water on the road on 124. We also saw what appeared to be some sort of rescue taking place. I'm here with Sports Director Ashly Elam. Talk about what we've seen out here.
Well, just like you said, right there by Green Acres Meat Market and Grocery Store.
Mm-hmm.
You're familiar with the area right off 124. Saw a couple of rescue boats out there. And we didn't see anything actually, taking place, but I mean, those guys have been busy out here. They've been busy in this area before. It looked like they were pulling one of the boats out, maybe going to a different location. One of the things I'd say we're fortunate seeing, a lot of the flooding we're seeing, it's still in the yard. There was a few spots on 124 where it's crossed over. A couple of roads we just passed by here by the high school, it's crossed over, but we're not seeing that water inundating houses. And unfortunately, I'm sure there are some that's already had water, so we don't want to, neglect those folks, but we haven't seen how bad this area has been in the past.
And yeah, right now we're parked in front of the high school. What you're seeing from our vantage point is what appears to be grassy.
Yeah, it's more of a drainage area here,
Okay.
and actually I'll start driving here to give you a little idea of where we're at. We are right pulling out of the high school parking lot here, and we've had flooding at Hampshire Fannett before, the high school, and it's not into school. We can tell you that. That's one good thing here is we haven't seen that taking place. Mainly the water staying in the yard, staying in the ditches, and we're hoping that this slack that in the rain is going to help the drainage catch up.
And we know as a result of these conditions, several schools across Southeast Texas let out early because several roads across the area are impassable, so they're trying to give you time to pick up your kids if you need to.
Yeah, we've also heard of some schools starting, later tomorrow, just in case some of those roads are still in bad shape or more rain moves into the area like it's expected.
And also I've seen TxDOT have signs out saying water on the road. So again, like if you don't have to be out in these conditions, it's best that you don't. It doesn't take much water for your car to lose control. And as always, the golden rule, turn around, don't drown. But for now, reporting here live in Hampshire Fannett, Jordan James, 12 News. We got about 10 minutes to talk to Facebook.
All right, sounds good.
Hello everyone, so we're back. Just got done doing something for the 4 o'clock, so now we're still in the Hampshire Fannett area. We just left the high school. We spent
there's a sprinkler on. I don't think they need that on. Sorry.
no.
Couldn't help that.
You know, it's probably timed.
Yeah, probably. I think you can turn off the sprinkler right now.
Yeah. So I'm going to flip it around to show you what we're seeing out here. There we go. Right now we're approaching Marsh Road.
So we're on Fig Plant and Marsh Road.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna get us back towards 124.
It's flooded back there. I don't know what that is.
It looks like farmland.
Okay.
But yeah, we got some high water up here as well. Looks like.
Flooded up there. So right now we're heading down Marsh Road. We're not too far away from the high school. As you can see, you know, water is on top of the road, and this has kind of been the scene in different parts of the area across the Hampshire Fannett.
Turn around.
I think this road closed.
This road is going to be closed. We're going to turn around.
Yeah. So it's probably really flooded back there.
Right.
So right now we're at the end of Marsh Road, and as you can see back there, I mean, they have a barricade up indicating that this road is flooded. So right now the water is flowing. Yeah.
It's got a good flow to it.
It's got a, yeah.
So we're definitely not going to go through that. First of all, you know,
yeah.
They have the road closed, so
Mm-hmm.
we have only passed it just to get her turned around. That's what I'm thankful for rear view cameras now.
Yeah.
Definitely some flow with this water. It's I think the quickest flow we've seen so far.
So you got to take it easy anytime you're passing something like this.
That's the first road that we've seen closed. Marsh Road at the ends. It's the first barricade we've seen put up. Jefferson County right there. More sprinklers on.
So we pretty much have seen what's taking place here in the Hampshire Fannett area. Now we're getting ready to go check out some of the sites in Port Arthur. We know on Facebook we received a lot of message about, you know, some flooding there. So now we're getting ready to go that direction. just now getting an alert that the National Weather Service issued a flash flood warning until this area until 6 o'clock. So if you're going to be out, be sure to take it easy.
We're about to make our way back out to 124 and head over to 73 and start going to Port Arthur. So the next area we're going to check out.
This is Savannah Avenue.
Oh, Savannah, okay.
You know where it is at?
Savannah.
Yeah.
I used to take Savannah going to work every day. My dad had a shop on Houston Avenue in Port Arthur, so that's right near the refineries.
Mm-hmm.
You just really got to hope for this area that this water can go down, though.
Yeah.
You really do.
The good news is that, you know, Patrick said that the rain should be letting up here shortly, but then there's tomorrow.
Yeah. What's scary now too is when you have a higher water like this, there's going to be debris that's going to get picked up and get stuck, and it's going to lead to more problems. So, you know, they got workers already out trying to clear areas, but you know, if it's your front yard, I mean, I've done it before where you know you notice your ditch is backing up. You know, get a rake, you know, try to help out the situation.
Yeah. Again, we're hopping back on 124, getting ready to head towards Port Arthur. We spent the last hour here in the Hampshire Fannett area where we saw some floodings in different pockets throughout the city. When we first arrived here, we saw what appeared to be a rescue taking place at the meat market just off of 124. We also saw some flooding at the middle school. Went by the high school, it wasn't too bad. There was like parts of the parking lot that was flooded.
And then towards the rear of Marsh Road was closed with water pretty rapidly going across that road right there. It was closed off. That was the first sign that we've come across. As far as the highway 124 overall, there's been one patch where we saw water passing over. And as we were heading now towards 73, the rain seems to be picking up again.
Yeah.
So, it's southeast Texas. Seems like it never stopped raining.
Yeah. And then we have hurricane season starting June 1st.
I don't even want to think about that. I just don't want to. I think our area deserves a break this year for sure.
Yes.
I did see we're about to pass where Hampshire Fannett Little League is, and this morning they went ahead and canceled their games tonight. I think that was a good call.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Also, we crossed over 365 coming out of, which comes out, of course, the LaBelle area, and that looked like it was impassable in chunks.
they have 15 to 18 inches of rainfall.
That's nuts. I mean, as soon as we're able to get going south. We're just waiting to find our turnaround here so we can head towards Port Arthur.
Yeah.
Construction out here on 73, I'm sure most of you are familiar with. Makes it a little tougher to get across and get back the other direction.
We have another live shot out the weather coming up here 1 minute.
Sounds good. We're about to turn around and be on 73 headed towards Port Arthur.
Okay.
Right now it looks windy. Weather right there. Yep, get on 73 road. On the feeder road, like you guys be over there. Got it.
Yeah, Dejanique, right now we're off of Highway 73 heading towards the Port Arthur area. The rain has really started to pick up here in the last 5 minutes. We've noticed on the feeder road, it's been really... Flip the camera around to give you a look at what we're seeing. There we go.
Yeah, we've come across a couple of pockets, and you've really got to be careful on these feeder roads because they tend to flood, you know, more often than you would see issues on the highway, especially towards Port Arthur, where there's construction, which, you know, that leads to even more complications where you're not getting the drainage that you normally would see. So you really got to take it slow, and as the sun goes down, you know, this could be treacherous. I mean, if you're not seeing these puddles at nighttime, you could hydroplane, end up off the road in a much worse situation.
Absolutely. And then we saw what appeared to be a rescue taking place near a meat market off of 124. You know, that's the reality out here in this, you know, how much here in the last couple of hours. Again, we're headed towards Port Arthur. We'll have another update, you know, later on this. Now we're reporting here live in Jefferson County.
We'll call it Jefferson County, that's right.
Okay. Good. The Fannett area. Now we're getting ready to head towards Port Arthur, where many of you guys have told us about the flooding that's happening there. So right now we're on Highway 73. The feeder road was kind of flooded. I'm going to flip the camera around so y'all can see what's taking place out here.
And we're passing, we're Nutty Jerry's used to be, I believe, getting a little closer out here. Give you an idea, a landmark of where we are. The old Elisa's Family Fun Center, Nutty Jerry's. And once again, people have been asking me, you know, throughout the day about traveling. You know, first of all, we encourage you not to. We have seen no issues on the highways that we've been on. 124 did have one spot where we were driving all the way from Beaumont out here towards, you know, 73. Only one area did we see water passing over 124.
What's up?
But now on Highway 73, the feeder roads did have some high water, and the rain is definitely coming down harder over here.
Okay, what's wrong with it? Okay. All right, I will. Okay, yeah, just let us know. Thanks. All right. Bye. The shot's crooked. We gotta fix it here in a little bit.
Okay. We got a crooked shot?
Yeah, we'll do it here in a little bit.
This is an inside shot?
It's the inside shot.
Of course,
yeah.
it looks, you know, it looks, I'm not messing with it.
We'll do it here in a little bit. Yeah, so right now we're traveling down Highway 73, approaching Port Arthur, for those of you who are asking. Again, we've heard some reports of some flooding taking place out there, so right now we're headed there. You know, as you can see, the rain is really starting to come down, which is why the shot is freezing.
Yeah, to give you a landmark, we just passed by the old Elisa's Family Fun Center out there, old Nutty Jerry's area. So we're kind of in that no man's land. We're out here in Jefferson County, approaching Port Arthur, Fort Acres area, getting towards there. Good news here on 73, we've seen absolutely no issues besides the feeder roads. They're near the construction area. They had some water across them, but as far as the highways, you know, you're okay to travel back and forth if you need to. Where you're going to find most of the issues at is in the small neighborhoods where those ditches can't handle it. Still riding along with us. We're on Highway 73 headed towards Port Arthur, just past Big Hill Road, getting closer towards West Port Arthur Road, you know, Fort Acres area. And Jordan said, yeah, we've heard some situations in Port Arthur now where...
Port Arthur, people were saying Port Arthur.
Port Arthur
and Port Acres.
Port Acres, gotcha.
Both of them. They said that,
sounds good. Passing Boondocks Road right now.
These your old Stumping Woods.
I'm from the Groves.
Yeah.
So you know, I do have friends that are from out here. One who claims he is the mayor of Port Acres, but you know, there's no mayor of Port Acres. He's used that line for years. So good people out here, but they've definitely seen their fair share of floods also in this region as well.
Yes.
Once again, though, the highway's been fine. Like, there's been no issues here. Haven't even really seen any pockets of water pooling or anything like that, besides on the feeder road. In that little construction zone near Whitty. And you mentioned that Patrick said the heaviest of the rain should be done at this point. Well, today it's almost like the reload time, you know, where this is round one, round two we're getting ready on. But out here it's been coming down pretty good.
But you know, Mother Nature sometimes has a mind of its own, so
right. And you'll see some storms, especially down here on the coast area, that will form out of nowhere and get real intense real fast. normally from the Hampshire area, I'll just swing on down 365, head back towards mid-county. But as we saw, there was a lot of water across 365.
Yeah.
So there's definitely some areas you're going to have to be careful in.
Mm-hmm.
17 miles until Port Arthur. That's where we are.
I don't think I've ever taken this way to
Really?
Port Arthur before.
Yeah. This is like if you're coming in from Houston,
Okay.
going to Port Arthur.
Okay. Speaking of Port Arthur, one of our reporters said the west side of Port Arthur is experiencing some bad flooding with the water going up to the doors.
Go check that out. Some of y'all are just joining us. We are on Highway 73, heading towards Port Arthur, where we hear some flooding situations going on there, where some water's approaching the houses.
Mm-hmm.
Also, just heads up, from my department,
Yeah.
there will be no sports today. We're completely focused on this weather and flooding situation we have in Southeast Texas. So there'll be no sports aired today.
Yeah. You had a number of cancellations.
Well, we didn't really have a lot of games today, but
Okay.
there's always sports to talk about.
Yeah.
Got to get us ready for the weekend.
Yeah.
We're gonna have an update. And I'll post it on Facebook and my Twitter page as well. With the UIL State Golf Tournament got underway today. We have a Class 4A team, LCM over there, and
Mhm.
Jack Burke, the defending state champion. So just want to let people know we're not forgetting about you people and on the sports side, but it's a much bigger situation. So
Yeah.
I got tagged in to be here with Jordan, and happy to be driving across the beautiful Golden Triangle.
Thanks. I couldn't ask for a better person to show me around. Like I map places every day, different places I'm mapping. Like if it's not in Beaumont, I got to map there.
Right. I was born and raised here, so
Yeah.
I can show you a lot of places around here. Passing Veolia right now. Give you a landmark, getting much closer towards West Port Arthur Road. Be there before you know it. You never really realize how Hampshire Fannett, how far away it is from Port Arthur until you're like, oh, we're gonna run right down the road. You're like, it's not really right next to each other
Yeah.
at all. But rain's starting to slack up. That's good.
Mm-hmm. The biggest concern is this water is just standing and
Yeah.
won't have time to go through the drainage.
Yeah, it's there's still some catching up to do, and those guys in the drainage district, they do, I can tell you, work tirelessly. And it's not just during events like this; they work year round on
Mhm.
trying to make sure our system works. And I understand when people get frustrated, especially those that get water in their houses and have to deal with the headaches and all that. But I mean, if you meet some of these guys, talk with them, they really do care. They're out there doing the best they can, and they're always very open to let you know what the situation is. They can tell you how much water they can pump in a certain amount of time, how the pumps turn on, things like that you really don't even think about until you need those pumps working for you to make sure you don't have water in your house.
Yeah.
And Jordan, just so you don't ride out here often, that's not a mountain range, that's the landfill. Just to let you know, that's the landfill.
So that is where all the trash goes.
There you go, there it is. That is not our special mountain.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was like, am I in Arizona?
Right.
Yeah, I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one, flash flood warning now until 6:45. The other one said 6 o'clock now. I guess it got extended.
Right. While we're certainly not seeing that situation now, every time I hear those sounds, I have flashbacks of Harney. Because it seemed like we had an alert every 10 minutes between possible tornadoes in the area to just flooding rains. And that sound to people around here, it's a nightmare.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Side of 73, got some water across the highway. High water situations there.
Just look, it's flooded over there.
Yeah.
Was that Port Acres back there?
Yeah, pretty much is the area you consider Port Acres. We're not far from Port Acres Elementary. Used to be known as Dick Dowling Elementary. My wife actually, her first job was as a teacher there. So, and we are right near Port Arthur. Off to your right-hand side is where they have the gates, the locks, where they can let trip boats come in and out. A friend of mine's dad actually controlled those back there. Wow. Never known those back there until it got brought back there as a kid. There's so many parts of our canal and levee system in this area you would never know. That just saves us time and time again down here in the Port Arthur area.
Wow.
But I mean, still, the water's got to go somewhere, and if it comes in too fast, there's just nowhere to put it.
Yeah.
Red light up here. This is West Port Arthur Road we're about to cross. We'll hop back on 73, then Savannah, see how bad that area is, because we've been told about Savannah.
Mhm.
So, and then that would take us to the west end of Port Arthur. Biggest issue now is rain makes me sleepy. So.
So now we're headed towards Savannah.
Yeah, we're about to take the Savannah exit coming up right now.
Let us know on Facebook if you live out here in the Port Arthur area where you're seeing some flooding so that we can check it out. Right now we're heading towards Savannah Avenue. Seeing right now that the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office put out that they're conducting rescue operations in that area that we just saw.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a road right there by the intermediate middle school out in Hampshire that looked completely covered, and that's where we saw the boats not too far from there by the Green Acres Meat Market. Looked like they were getting the boats in position.
Yeah.
We already saw somebody in a life preserver. far, at least next to Motiva here, it seemed all right.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to get closer to the residential area.
Okay.
That's where we see some issues. And as I say that, there's Savannah Avenue where we've got some flooding going on there.
So yeah, right now we're making our way onto Savannah Avenue.
Yep, this is right outside the main gate here at Motiva, and we're seeing water across the road.
Probably the most water we've seen on the road.
Yeah, and this area is prone to it. I will let you know this area does flood quite often. Anytime we have a big storm, especially, you'll see this area flood. It's hard for it to run off. You've got a bunch of, parking areas, blockades. It's not your normal, curb and gutter area. If you will. You don't have the ditches because they have all these extra parking lots that were built for this refinery.
So right now we're continuing to make our way down Savannah Avenue here in Port Arthur. We just passed by Motiva.
And that was by far the deepest water area. But like I said, I don't want to hype up anything because, that area is prone to flooding as it is, especially during any type of storms. But still, if you're in that area, you don't want to be driving through there in a car because you're gonna have a hard time.
Yeah.
I've also noticed driving through here on the west end of the west side of Port Arthur, I've seen a couple of roads with blockades up, but it looks like the water's gone down. Now this neighborhood right here,
15th, 5th Street. Yeah.
We're not going to go down it, but we're just going to give you an idea.
The water appears to be very deep on this street.
So we want to just give you an idea of what, some of these neighborhoods in the west side of Port Arthur are looking like. And I can tell you there's a drain right next to us.
I see it.
And they are working. Okay, they're definitely working.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we just want the nose in that for a section just to just give you an idea. We don't want to drive through that, end up pushing water towards people's yards. And frankly, I don't want to get stuck.
No, me either.
And then have to explain that to our bosses. So we're not going to do that. But that's our first road here in the west side of Port Arthur we've seen completely underwater, besides that entrance right there at Motiva.
Mm-hmm.
But even down here near Proctor, we're going towards Proctor. The museum of the Gulf Coast shut down early because they were having flooding. And you're seeing those blockades right here, you know.
So let's see what it looks like.
Let's take a look. See, and what you're thinking is like, it looks like water's probably gone down here.
Okay.
Yeah,
It had to been higher earlier.
Yeah, earlier. We're seeing a lot more, you know, blockades in Port Arthur than we've seen anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's letting you know earlier that they were likely underwater.
And you know, it just takes some time for those drains to
Yeah,
start working.
I mean, we saw they're working right
Yeah.
there. We had 2 giant whirlpools on each side.
1,
of
2,
us,
3, 4, 5,
you
6,
know,
7.
and so they're working. And this is our second Port Arthur utility truck that we've seen driving around. So
Mm-hmm.
they're going back up and down, and they're checking these streets over and over for you. And this might be the lightest we've seen the rain now. It's
Yeah.
finally letting up.
Yeah.
Some people are not slowing down.
So let's get to a place for the 5 o'clock hit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it appears like, you know, several
Yeah.
roads, streets.
Yeah, they've got these pockets out here you're going to have to be careful in.
Mm-hmm. This one. Oh,
yeah,
wow, look at this one.
Yeah, this is...
11th Street. No. Yeah. 10th Street.
10th Street here.
Making go now. Why does it dip off like that? You just stop right there, I guess.
I'll give you an idea.
Yeah. So yeah, for those of you who are still on here with us, we're now here in. Let me change the view so y'all can see this. Yeah, for those of you who are joining us, we're now here in Port Arthur. We've been traveling across southeast Texas, looking at some of the roads and the flooding. You know, we've been hearing a lot about flooding here in Port Arthur, and we saw that near the Motiva plant. Right now, we're traveling down Savannah Avenue at the corner of 10th Street, where the road is flooded. So, I'm gonna flip the camera, give y'all a look at what we're seeing. Appears like majority of, would you call this like West Port Arthur?
Yeah, this is the west side of Port Arthur.
Yeah, because I'm looking, that side's flooded as well.
Yeah.
You can just kind of see it up there. Like there's barricades throughout the west side of Port Arthur.
Go ahead and hop out of the way here.
Okay.
Let's turn the other direction. We're definitely not going to do that. We'll turn back around here,
Yeah.
give you a view of what we're seeing. And this little camera on our dash is cool, but we can't just keep spinning it around and show you everything that we're seeing.
Mm-hmm. 360 camera.
All right. That's what we need. We need a 360 camera. We're right here on 10th Street and off of Savannah and Port Arthur. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we're seeing the puddling on the sides, but once again, I mean, these drains are working. We have witnessed that. just got to take it, slow in a few areas.
They're gonna have us in boxes off the top. Show. They're gonna be in boxes.
Great job, live. That was super tough.
You can see how this could go 25 to 30, maybe 35 inches of rainfall in some spots across the area. So we may be measuring this in feet in some spots across southeast Texas. This is not even a tropical system. As you can see, we do not see the yellows and the oranges and the reds that we saw earlier. Things appear to be winding down. A little closer inspection shows that line moving off to south and west. So the training is starting to weakening. And modeling, this is the latest futurecast.
1 minute.
The rain light, 1 minute out. Rain and moving on to the south as we head towards later tonight. Another flash flood warning. This one in through Jefferson County until 6:45 p.m.
Just ahead. Hit that Jordan and Ashly.
Okay. Basically, we're gonna be in boxes on a monitor, and I'll just do like that.
As soon as you talk all that.
Good. Good. Hey Jordan, right now we're off Savannah Avenue in West Port Arthur. We just passed by the Motiva plant, and there was a lot of water in front of the plant.
Yeah.
We had to take it easy. Ashly Elam's here with us as well. So yeah.
Yeah, it's the main interest there at Motiva, and we've seen water gather before. Like I said, we don't want to overhype some situations, but it's definitely one of those locations where you're going to have to be careful going through it. A lot of big trucks, of course. The refinery workers getting off of work right now. We're sitting on 10th. Right here off of Savannah, where you're seeing these yards pull to where it's crossing the roads, but with the slack and the rain, we've witnessed it. We were turned down a road earlier that was a little deeper than this before we turned around, and you can see the whirlpools of the drains working. So the water is starting to go down, but I mean, it's going to be a long week.
Absolutely, and we'll have more coming up today on 12 News. For now, reporting here in Port Arthur, Jordan James, 12 News. It's like, flip the camera. All right, we can go somewhere else.
Shit. People are a big rainbow mobile.
Look, everyone's texting me about no digits today.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry, I'm driving. Lift. Cocky, like the road's gonna fall apart. It's a sinkhole. It's not our fault. As we're making jokes. So are we back with our friends at Facebook?
Yeah,
Live?
we're back with them.
We are on Savannah, heading towards Proctor here in Port Arthur, and where we see more water covering the roads. You were able to hear our little live hit there while ago. The water's going down, which is a great sign, and the rain seems to be slacking off. Chief Meteorologist Patrick Vaughn just mentioning that it looks like the training effect that we've been seeing in this region, the Hampshire-Fannett region, looks to be done as well at this time. So that's a great news right there.
Yeah, and I was saying that this is the most barricades that we've noticed.
Sure.
In our trip around.
Hey, shout out to the city of Port Arthur workers. We've seen multiple trucks also going through here, and looks like checking on situations, making sure there are no issues. But definitely been the most we've seen of those barricades so far.
Yeah. Not seeing much water right here by the seawall area.
Always good to see that.
Yeah.
We're going to turn back towards Houston Avenue and check that side of town near the old Lincoln High School, which is now middle school, I believe. We're right near Lamar, Port Arthur. Martin Field is the softball field in the distance over there. Of course, I'm going to have all the sports references for you. But you'll recognize this path if you frequented Mardi Gras Southeast Texas back when it was in Port Arthur. We're now on Proctor Street, heading down to the old downtown Port Arthur area. And no water at all here.
Yeah.
We're looking good. You can see some debris in the road, or maybe some water pushed things up earlier.
Do you want to stay here for the 6? Like, I don't.
We can move to wherever you want. Wherever anyone wants to go.
We'll hang around here for the 6.
Okay.
I guess the other area would be like Port Acres.
Yeah, I mean, we're not too far from Port Acres. Swing by over there if you want. 365 area down in Floyd. We'll go towards there. We have time to be there by 6.
Yeah.
you're still with us on Facebook right now, we are touring Southeast Texas, trying to see where the deep spots are.
Yeah.
Right now we're in Port Arthur on Houston Avenue, about to pass over Thomas Boulevard. Where a lot of the rain we're just seeing pooling at these intersections and low areas. If the water's still standing at nighttime, you're gonna have to be careful because that's where you can all of a sudden end up in a ditch. So got to be careful out here. Overall, water looks like it's going down. Rain is starting to slack. Patrick has said it looks like the training effect, at least for today, is done. But he also said, it's going to be coming back tomorrow and Wednesday and Thursday and possibly Friday. So
yeah.
There's a lot of debris on the road over here, so you can tell the water was much deeper at some point. You can see where it's in the middle towards the turning lane.
Yeah.
We're about to turn on to Gulfway.
Seeing a lot of water on Gulfway.
Yeah, a lot of water right here.
It's just like right here in this area.
Yeah, it's mainly these intersections where it's low, and usually you have drains right there that are going to bring all the water. Now over there, that's an overpass. I'll turn
Is it
around.
flooded?
It is a flooded overpass.
Oh, wow.
Actually, underpass. I would say.
Yeah.
Well, the train passes over here. These are very, those flood all the time as well. But it seems like every time during one of these events, we see somebody that tries to go through it, and that's just not very smart. So.
Yeah.
We'll just give you a quick view of this before turning back around. We're going to try to hit the Fort Acres area before 12 days at 6.
So as you can see ahead on Gulfway, the underpass is completely flooded, which is why they have these barricades up. This is kind of the scene throughout Port Arthur where it's flooded in different pockets of the city.
We're going to pass near those, definitely not going to get too close, and we're going to turn around. But some people who aren't from here, you don't realize how deep that water is. But I mean, that your car's underwater if you try to get through one of those.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of times you see videos during these big storms when people are having to get rescued out of their cars or standing on their cars because they think, oh, it's fine, it can't be that deep, but I mean, that water right there is a good 5 feet for sure.
Yeah.
So
Get some.
like turn sideways so you can.
Sure.
There you go, sir.
Okay.
It's just all this water's flowing in from Houston Avenue. It's going straight into this. So now we're looking back towards Gulfway Drive. We're going to get out here, get back on Savannah. We'll go towards Houston Avenue. I should say West Port Arthur Road. We just left Houston Avenue. Strong smell of gas back there. I'll say that. We were right next to a gas station. It's a very strong smell of gasoline. So we're definitely not wanting to hang out there. So.
No.
And here we are again, more water on top of Gulfway Drive.
Back with another here in like a couple of minutes. Gulfway. Yeah, as you can see, we're working our way down Gulfway, and this road right here at the intersection of Gulfway and Fort Worth Drive is flooded. Appears it's all the way down Gulfway.
Yeah, all the way down Gulfway. This is the most we've seen as far as in a large area flooding situation. not super deep in the middle, but you can see how it's pulled up quite a bit on the sides near the curved area.
Yeah. It's good to see the water's going down, you know, given that
Right.
all these barricades are up throughout the city.
We're back on Savannah now, going back towards
Let's see.
Motiva.
About to come to us. We can slow down around Motiva. Hey Jordan, the rain has let up a little bit, but we still are seeing the flooding. Right now we're on still on Savannah Avenue. I'm gonna flip the camera to give you guys a look at what we're seeing out here. Right now we're getting ready to drive right in front of the Motiva plant. As you can see ahead of us, there is some flooding right here on Savannah Avenue.
Yeah, and you know, we have seen the neighborhoods at least. Looks like the water has gone down dramatically in just the last 30 minutes. But this was a trouble spot that we saw at the intersection where people are going to have to take it a little bit slower. And if you're in a car, I would not come this way.
All right, well, we'll check back with you guys later on. For now, reporting here in Port Arthur. Okay. They don't like I said anything. They don't. And like, yeah, like as you're seeing right now, for those of you on Facebook, if you don't think you can make it, it's best to turn around.
Might as well. I'd be concerned if I'm driving a car right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're in a bit of an SUV, so we got a little more clearance.
Yeah.
But especially what you got to worry about these 18-wheelers and these large trucks. So look how they're pushing the water.
Yeah.
You know, this is what you don't want to see this. Here we go. See? You know, it's like,
Yeah.
you know, it's great that you can get through the water that fast
Yeah.
and things like that, but you're hitting other vehicles, and you know, especially if you're in a neighborhood, you're going to be pushing all that water into cars and to houses if the water's gotten that high.
Yes.
overall, going there through Port Arthur, you can tell. I mean, if that's what it looks like now,
Mm-hmm.
you can only imagine, during the heaviest rains, how high the water goes. Because there was plenty of, roads blocked that were completely clear now. So that, that tells you right then that those streets were inundated. So the areas we saw with still standing water, I mean, it had to be horrible earlier because we were getting reports. Some people were getting water in their houses, and it was still standing at this point during a light rain and the good drainage. It tells you that they were probably dealing with a lot earlier.
Yeah, and like most of the water in the house, we heard that happening in the Fannett area.
Right. Yeah, we heard some situation up there. When we were in Fannett, I will say the areas we can get to. We want to emphasize that first of all. Areas that we can get to, we didn't see a ton of that, but those roads that are completely covered and we can't get back there, and that's where we saw the rescue boats out and things like that. I'm sure that they do have water, coming into the house, and, or at least into their garages and into their cars. And, it's just not safe for us to travel back in there. And not only that, we don't want to be a headache to those rescue workers.
Yeah.
The people out there doing their job, and this, you don't want to get in their way. We want to give you a view of what's going on and give you an idea, but we're definitely, we work together with those people, and you don't want to get in their way when they're trying to, possibly be saving a life at that point.
Absolutely. Patrick just said Wednesday and Thursday will be the day where we can see the climax of this storm.
It's not good because, I mean, you're already seeing it. It's already backing up now.
Yeah.
You hope that overnight we get ourselves a break, start over, but, for the most part, though, I'll say living down here, in at least South County, Mid-County, a lot of those rains that you've been seeing pounding the lakes area, we haven't got down here.
Yeah.
It's almost been like there's been a bubble over an area. So you hope that those waters can, drain off and we're not overly saturated. But once you get to the second day of this, and the third day, and the fourth day, that's when you see the water has nowhere to go. But there's so many times we've also, joked around with Patrick and things. It's, sometimes it could just fall apart. It might not, hopefully it's not as bad as what it's looking like. But right now, I mean, when he's talking about starting to count the rain in feet instead of inches, that's not good. Yes, I'm going to answer you, Eric, bro. I do wish I had some music playing. It's very quiet in here.
And if you're here in the Mid-County area, let us know what you're seeing on Facebook so we can check it out. Right now we're getting ready to head towards Port Acres.
Yep, we're going to hop back on 73, go towards West Port Arthur Road, then work our way down that way. Everywhere we've been going on the highway, I can tell you we've been going about 10, 15 miles underneath the speed limit. And the people around us are not. We'll just say we're getting passed left and right, but we're taking our time throughout here.
Rashonda, we've seen flooding in different parts of Port Arthur. For the most part, it seems like the water has subsided here in recent hours.
Yeah, which is good, and we're not saying that everybody's not having issues. Just from where we could get to, it looked like the waters were going down. But there were some situations, there were some areas that were still blocked. Gulfway Drive near Houston Avenue is completely underwater right now.
Yeah.
We're about to be in Port Acres.
We're about to be in Port Acres.
Well, just technically we're off. But-
Okay. She said like 30, 40-second hit.
Oh, okay. Wait, coming up right now?
Yeah. About 1 minute.
All right.
We'll do it. Sorry about that. Yeah, we are sorry. We are live out here. We are on Westport Arthur Road here in the Port Acres area. Right now, not seeing any flooding. We're going to go check out some neighborhoods here shortly. Looks like the water's going down. That's the main thing we have going on out here. Yeah, majority of the flooding we saw was near Savannah Avenue, near the Mauriceville plant, but it does appear that the water has gone down here over the last few hours in Port Arthur. But as you can see right now, we're headed toward Port Acres, and we'll have more on coming up tonight at 6. Facebook Live.
We are?
Yeah.
It's done? It's over?
It's still going right now.
Well, it's not over.
Yeah. Here in a little bit.
Yeah, we're in Port Acres right now, and we're seeing some yards now completely covered in water. The road, you can tell with the debris that's been pushed in the middle, that this road was definitely underwater earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, hopefully these people are getting some breaks.
So we're getting ready to end this Facebook Live here shortly, but we want to thank all of you for watching, traveling with us across Southeast Texas, looking at the flooding. We're going to have more coming up tonight on 12 News at 6 and tonight at 10.